Hello and welcome, Snake here. Today I prepared a bunch of tips that could help you in your Tzeentch campaign, primarily Kairos Fateweaver, because Changeling campaign for me is still a mystery. Basically, you play it once and you're done, because it's always more or less the same outcome. With Kairos is a little bit different. However, I always call it's the same, because you start literally in a corner of the map, so you have always the same enemy, you always have to go the same way. Yeah, but the later stages of a game definitely change. And I wanted to help you what you should do around, early stages, late stages, tips that can help you make your campaign much more fun, or at least doable. When you play Tzeentch faction, or Kairos, you have options to grow super fast, fast, or rather slow but with income. And I'll show you this. As you can see, I have income building, but when Winds of Magic, the income is tied to just income basically. So you can grow slowly by just having these. It's not a lot of growth, right? But you can have 15 on tier 3 from all of these. Plus the settlement, so yeah, you will grow slowly. But if you attach, this settlement, it gives you ridiculously fast growth. So Winds of Magic here are, decent, so I get more growth. So you have a couple of options, and you should consider them, especially in the settlements that you don't want to grow immediately super fast, because you don't know if they will defend themselves. Like here, I have a situation where most likely I will get attacked by lizardmen. So I don't know why I even build this up, to be honest. But yeah, let's face it. I should have here, and I most likely will. I should have this. This. So I get only 5 growth over 30, but I get income. And income, as you can see, I have less than 2 armies. And I struggle with money, because this is struggling in my eyes. Eventually it will sort out, but there are technologies that you can add the growth. So I would say in some cases, I would not build this up if I don't. Growing fast is definitely important, but it's not the most important if you cannot sustain that. Because, yeah, you grow fast, but then you cannot pay for buildings. And as you can see here, I'd rather choose money over the growth building, because I still have quite a lot growth. And that's not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever. So, over growth building, I would suggest this one, because that's increase your Tzeentch corruption and also increase your money income. So, shuffle between them. Don't always blindly go for growth, because you might end up struggling with the money. You need to balance it out as well as possible, so you just don't get, don't lose money over nothing, over growth that you cannot even build up. So I'm building up tier 4. Hey, 8,000 went to nothing. So it's one province makes me 4,000 gold. So if I get more stuff, like if I demolish here, and I'll get the extra 15% income, it will be better than just growth. Okay, growth is nice, but I'll have more money. That's why balancing out things is quite important. And with Kairos, you definitely can. This is so much fun, because depends on your needs. You can adjust every province. So keep that in mind. Not always growth is the answer, because like I said, money is tight, so like Exalted Pink Horrors cost a lot. Let's face it. And if I want to have a second army, then that's a lot too. Meaning, play smart. Don't go blindly growth, growth, growth. No. You can mix those together, growth and money together. And it will definitely benefit you more. I know this is something people won't like, but Kairos is amazing to burn archers' ammo. With the replenishing of shield, is, you know, fly plus being a flying entity, it's such a good tool in early stages of your campaign where you can just pretty much, get rid of their ammo. You don't have to, of course you don't, but the problem with high elves is that they're pretty much stuffed with arrows. Same goes for Nakari. If you want to play Nakari and have fun, then burn that ammo. Otherwise, you're gonna get shot in your ass, because Nakari is not wearing armor. Kairos is not really, that heavy armored as well, but at least have some. So, it's very simple, but just burn their ammo. Don't stress yourself too much, especially that they don't like you. It's an amazing tool. Just fly over and tell them to F off. You can also just, bamboozle them flying somewhere inside a settlement, but watch out for Eagle. It's crucial to, hopefully manage to catch the High Elves before Teclis gets his flying mount. If Teclis gets his flying mount, he will beat Kairos in one-on-one combat. So you can, try to fight, but they will shoot you. So without burning ammo, you might have a problem. Plus Teclis probably will have energy shield, the barrier as well, so it will mitigate all your spells. So be creative, be fast, because it's definitely, high elves are not that easy enemy to deal with. Look how many arrows are here, and it's just the beginning of this diarrhea of arrows. So if you want to have fun, fun is up to you, whatever it brings you fun. But if you don't want to struggle, that's the most effective way. If you disagree, hit the comment, tell me how fucking wrong I am. It's fine. I can take it. When you start your adventure with Kairos or any, Tzeentch faction in the future, when it comes to technology tree, I would say start with this Taumatic Locus. It will lead you to changing of the ways borrow time. This is the most efficient way to get the double movement range, per turn. It doesn't cost that much because it's like only 100, grimoires. It's not a problem, and getting extra turn is absolute king, especially when you get this. This is your priority when it comes to leveling. Not right away, immediately, like, straight ahead, but eventually. I'm on level 13, as you can see, saving points, but I choose to reduce the cooldown on changing of the ways, and now I can do it every couple of turns for 100 grimoire. Highly, highly recommend, because doubling down on movement, let's face it, it's a king, because you do it something over two turns in one turn. Highly, highly recommend. when you play Kairos, there will be a chance eventually confederate the minor faction on your left. Make sure the settlements you sell, especially in early stages, make sure you trade it to Oxyotl for some time. I mean, he will, if you sell him, and if you're lucky, you could vassalize him, but he might break from it. You can go defensive mode with him, defensive ally, but he will break out of it eventually as well. But this will buy you a time. It will give you enough time to deal with Teclis. Meanwhile, you can just maintain peace and sell it when it's really, really needed. Absolutely worth doing. Huge value. And yeah, like I said, you will claim all this territory. There is no doubt you should do it. But for the time being, buy yourself a peace. It's like buying your, wife whatever she wants to get some peace. Grimoires in early campaign might be a problem. I get like 40 every turn. Not a lot, but here and there combat. But what I do, you start with cults. And what I build in those cults is branching plans. Nothing crazy, right? Just one building. It gives you 10 grimoires and chance on expand to another region. So, yeah, I'm actually, oh wait. Yeah, I'm starting to getting them one by one here. And I'm starting to spread them here as well. So, yeah, it starts to pile up, pile up. So this is the cheapest. It costs like 2.5 grand for one of these buildings. It's the cheapest way, maybe not the cheapest in early stages, but definitely most effective because you spread up. This is something there is a low chance you're gonna lose. Of course, later on you can add it with your buildings and your settlements, but at the start, there is not enough space for that, which this leaves the most effective way. And money should not be a problem if you're gonna listen to next tip. If you want to have high research rate, you should, focus on your settlements to have commandment that gives you research. You have option to have control, grimoire from buildings if you really, really want them, but honestly this is not worth. Tzeentch and corruption, I tend to put it on a start. To have corrupt, because if you have high corruption, Tzeentch and corruption, it gives you control, winds of magic, ammunition for demons and everything. Oh, yeah, that's the thing I always had a problem to understand, where the extra ammo comes from. But the primary one is the research rate and chance of winds of magic changing strength plus 25%, because this will pretty much let you have winds of magics high everywhere, so your buildings will produce extra everything, growth, money, everything. So it's gonna be just great. But research rate 400 is your goal, and I have 400 research because this guy gives me 35% also. So 35% from this minus, so I don't have full 400. 400% gives most of the research taking one turn only. The one on the sides is only one turn, the middle one always costs more. But if you want to have 400 max, because that will give you, research turn, research one per turn, which is your sweet spot. So keep that in mind if you really want to have a nice research. 400 is your sweet spot, and after that you can, do whatever. But I recommend putting the commandment for research rate in Winds of Magic, because this will make your life just in general easier. And next tip, transfer settlement. First of all, you should abuse it as much as possible. Sometimes you can get transfer settlement and you don't pay. You don't pay for that at all. You get it for free. Most likely it's crap. I did use transfer. I think I transfer settlement, sold it to minor faction here. I vassalized them. No, vassalized. I confederate them. And then I sold everything to Daniel. And I managed to vassalize him. I'm leaving up to you if you want to have vassal or not. Your thing. I like to have vassals, especially those, on the other side of a map. But that's not the subject. You look for a settlement that you can sell to somebody for a good amount of money. Let's go for this one. It costs 600. It's relatively a lot at this stage, but what you can get for that? First of all, you discover stuff. It's only 3k. Not a lot. What about him? Selling settlements is mostly beneficial to evil. Evil factions will pay more. Always. Especially greenskins. Boom. You can either vassalize him and still get like 11k, or just give it to him, because he might get wiped. But if you vassalize him, you will protect him and get a lot of money and get a vassal. Again, leaving it up to you. So by this, I'm gonna build him something. I might... Yeah, they were getting destroyed. They were getting destroyed. So by this... Yeah, they're out of all the wars. I get like a lot of, like 10k. And I'll be able to borrow their army to steal heroes. That's another trick. So vassals will let you steal heroes. Basically, just use the system right, so you can spend it on a stuff you really, really want and need. In this case, do I want to have another settlement build up? Hell yeah. Next up, I want to just briefly talk about Blue Scribe's quest. Because, yeah, you need to do certain things, and at some point, you need to teleport to certain location for the quest. Yeah, move any character the following region. And that's why I told you to get certain things, because you will benefit from that. And that's what you do. Oh, a settlement I need to be in. Okay. Boom. And now, Blue Scribes. And now, I can just sell it for probably a crapload of money.
Be quick about it.
Or vassalize Murati. It's really up to you what you want to do with that. But definitely 15 grand is not bad. I'm making so vassalizing her would not be bad idea. You could pull her out of the war and just have a vassal. that doesn't suck, because Moratti is a decent one. So yeah, absolutely amazing
I should
deal.
cut you down for wasting my time.
You could also, in this situation, because I can build another settlement and just, you know, add a military building here. So the minor one, whatever, and this will increase the value of a settlement insanely. But it's not about that. It's about just, you know, completing the quest. That's why I told you do certain things with technology, you know, certain things with grimoires, so you can do it without a problem. When you unlock blue scribes, it's very good to, because they buff insanely. They buff the blue, I mean horrors, pink horrors, blue horrors, right? The exalted pink horrors. So it's really important for you to have them and in together as a one army. Sorry, but my recommendation is also to use it at the start with Kairos, because his primary army should be horrors at the start. That's the best unit you can get early on. But later on, switch it. Build a separate army with blue horrors, blue scribes, and get yourself melee lord. Seriously, melee lord. And yeah, others I'm just giving them like, until this guy gonna be a demon prince, I need a siege attacker. And these are fine. They're not super expensive for a siege attacker, but one, you can have one, but they if you want them to be at least a little bit effective, get at least 2-3. You can get Regiment of Renown. Oh, it's not available. It's Chaos Spawn, so you could get Chaos Spawn, or you could also go for, like, if you have vassals, get yourself siege attacker from different army, like skull cannons, because they are gonna be good as well. So, but still, blue scribes with blue horrors, I mean horrors, pink horrors in general should be together. The only problem is the siege attacker, which you can solve it easily eventually. But if you have problem at the start, Chaos Spawn is the easiest to get. And yeah, blue scribes are amazing, and they build nice art.
Before you decide to declare war against somebody, you should do Reveal Shroud. I didn't, and I'm gonna face consequences now with this army. But, you know, Reveal Shroud can be super cheap if you go for Kairos Talent. Yeah, if you put this, the cost is super low. But in general, it's super low. So I didn't put a talent there because it feels wasted. But you definitely should absolutely reveal Shroud before you go for it. Changing of the Ways has a lot of stuff that you can use, like Borrow Time, Force War, Transfer Settlement. It's all good. When it comes to Transfer Settlement, I'm taking it from my vassals, because I'm just taking tier 5 settlements for less than I should. And often when you go break alliance, because currently the buff, I mean the bug that work is still present, where you can break alliances sometimes for free if they hate you enough. But like, see, yeah, you can break alliances sometimes for free, but depends on the situation. So just make sure you check it. Like here, boom. No defensive alliance, out of nowhere, everything goes to hell. So yeah. But of course, when it's gonna be fixed, you know, I recommend using it, because, oh man, like I-Force War, Dwarfs versus Empire, they were so divided, they couldn't hold their own territory, which fixed everything for me. So, just changing of the ways in general, but the essential is Reveal Shroud, because it's cheap. It's very cheap, and it will let you see everything ahead of you. I didn't, and now I'm gonna have to deal with the vampires somehow.
When you eventually decide to have vassals, they can offer some fun. Of course you can steal heroes, which is primarily things what you should do. But that's not only thing, they will also help you expand, like here. I mean, you can steal settlement, right, and just start expanding from there. That's another thing. But I recommend selling settlement, which I mentioned before. But here, I got Karakadrak because I vassalize army from Demon Prince. And now, I'm gonna get Kislev because I vassalize... I vassalize this army from Azazel, and now I'm gonna get Kislev. But before I get that, I can also kill those exalted heroes, which have items. That's first. They have items, at least some of them. No, they don't, okay. But they have leveled, and they are typical exalted heroes. They're not that you're like your the Tzeentch exalted heroes, which I fucking love, but they are the just regular ones, which you can use them. You could also steal the Lord, but that requires much more effort. So vassals will like, I'm trying to get Gorich, and I will get Gorich eventually, because he was available in different army, but now he was moved to Trot, so unfortunately I couldn't. You don't have to build outposts in your vassals, which I actually recommend not doing it. And the reason for that is often you can recruit shit from those settlements. Like, look, Warriors of Chaos settlements don't build vassals, don't build outposts, because they will give you basic units that are crap. When it comes to Norscan, yeah, you have better options if you're really desperate. Greenskins, yeah, greenskins are temporary vassal, because I'm gonna kill them. I want to have a trait. And Skaven, of course, for obvious reasons, is that I can have Blade Claw catapults, for instance, which is a very good thing. And Demon Prince, because I used them before, and it's always fun to have vassals. It will give you option to have some weird campaigns, some weird stuff, because you can, steal heroes, you can do some certain things, but they also increase your reach. They give you option to play weird armies and do weird stuff. And I'm not sure if you like it, but I will have hell of a fun in this siege, just because, in the name of Tzeentch, I will conquer Kislev. It will be hard, because they have good units. Luckily for me, they don't have Ataman. It will be fun. So, highly recommend getting yourself as many vassals as possible in a different, different places in the world, so you can just do some, random stuff that will just give you fun. And that's all about it. It's all about fun. You should definitely try Confederate Changeling. Changeling is amazing lord to be in your, roster, in your faction. He is great for like single entities, the Vortex Beast Lord, or any other from your vassals. Because he does have a buff, buffing the vassalized units. He also doesn't pay much upkeep. In general, he's really good, plus he can change form. How to do it? It's not easy. I am telling you, it's not easy. So, I started from north, and I start Reveal Shroud, slowly going down, 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 until the area of Sylvania, the Averheim, stuff like that. And I discovered Changeling. After that, I paid quite a lot of money to get him into defensive and military alliance. Defensive to protect him, and also take him out of the wars that he was in. Because he dies often. You can use Force Peace and just, cover him. After that, you can pay him a lot of money, and he will refuse to join Confederation. That's a bummer. You can threat him. It does work. Not always, but it does work. But after you do that, I recommend safe scamming, because it can backfire. But you can threat him. Also, when you declare war on something, or you get attacked, do not ever call allies. When you have vassals, they automatically drag into a war. But, you need to unclick the box, call your allies, because he always declines it. And he breaks all the alliances you have. Never drag Changeling into any war, because he doesn't like that. So what can you do in order to confederate him? And that's very simple. You force war upon him to enemy that is distant away. Really distant away, so he doesn't, die. Let's say northern provinces, right? It's quite far. That was like 39, 38. Now it's 5. Within 7 turns, I'm going to put him at war with somebody else, and then confederate him. That's pretty simple, but requires some time and preparation. That's why you need to research things I said before, and you do need to pay him quite a lot to get the relations set up. At the start of campaign of Kairos, you're gonna have option to ally with Clan Morbidus. Clan Morbidus, not Morbidus. Clan Morbidus starts here. And they can sometimes get attacked by Krukar, but they sometimes may not. Nevertheless, if you ally with them, you give Krukar, a reason to go through them to you from here. You could try vassalize them, but I would say don't. They will generally like you. They will like you, no matter what. Claim their territory, but don't claim it immediately. If they stay alive, use them as a buffer, and clean everything up. And if they're still alive, just take their territory. It's gonna be high-tier buildings, so it's gonna be easier for minor faction. It's gonna be really nice to get it. Over just, barely level 1, 2. So early on, they can be a buffer, but don't ally with them. And if they stay for a long term, for a long time of campaign, just claim their territory. But never bother allying with them. They're useless, they don't provide any help, so they're just not worth of your time. And that's it. I hope you like it. If you did, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything and you can help me a lot. And tell me, what did I miss? I might do part 2 later on. That's it from me today. Thank you for watching. Till the next time. Take care, and bye-bye.